Thank you very much. I think I'll go to the introduction now. Ahem. Allow me to introduce you to the majestic Westside Park in Atlanta. This urban oasis boasts of a sprawling expanse of lush greenery, meticulously manicured lawns, and meticulously designed walking trails that exude an air of sophistication and exclusivity. It's a destination that caters only to the most discerning of individuals who appreciate the finer things in life and demand nothing, and I mean nothing, but the best. From its state-of-the-art sports facilities to its meticulously curated art installations, Westside Park is the epitome of elegance and refinement, and it's simply a privilege to even step foot on its grounds. Now that I've given you a formal introduction to Westside Park, forget all about it, because today I'm going to be talking specifically about Bell Ward Quarry. And the question I want to tackle is actually quite simple. The common connotation with Bell Ward Quarry in its acclimated state is to have been a step above in its previous day. Or has it? See, I've done some research and
Bro.
What?
You forgot the crash course.
Oh, yeah. I completely forgot. Run the crash course. Here at Crash Course, we like to deliver our information in 90 seconds flat, so start your watch, because I'm a man that doesn't like to lie. Right here is the Bell Ward Quarry after the replacement, and right here is the Bell Ward Quarry before the replacement. Now, this is a granite quarry that had been in operation since the 1900s, but unfortunately, these weren't your average American workers. These were forced prisoner convicts, put through an unruly and unjust amount of work day in and day out, and extremely unfavorable conditions was the everyday life of these people. Fortunately, though, they were only there for the minute time of 100 years until the prison labor system was removed from the South, and that's where the new Bell Ward Quarry comes into play. In 2006, the city of Atlanta purchased this quarry and decided to repurpose it into something better, so they completely removed all mining excavating machines and decided to fill the quarry with 1.9 billion gallons of fresh water to house as an emergency source to the citizens of Atlanta. Thank you so much. This is Crash Course. Can we get an applause for the crash course? Okay, you can stop. But now with that out of the way, cue the Vsauce music. See, I've done some research and I've seen that even with all the positive effects of the repurposement, there's still negative ones that come along with it. I've done you the favor of dividing them into let's make it 3 sections that I'll be talking about. 1, cost. 2, displacement. And 3, environmental impact. Once we get through all 3 of these, we can finally get to the bottom of just how negative this repurposing was. Anytime money gets spent, ever, there will always be arguments about the better usages of said money. And for the money relating to Bell Ward Quarry, this is just not excluded. The cost of transforming Bell Ward Quarry into what it is today has still been a concern of many in need. With it being an estimated $280 million project, many people are anxious to give their opinion on where it should have gone. Some critics from Atlanta Magazine argue that the cost of the project could have been better spent on other priorities, such as affordable housing or public transit. They argue that the project is a luxury that the city cannot afford, particularly considering other pressing needs. This is especially apparent when you take into account that Atlanta makes up roughly 1/3 of the state's homeless population. Many people argue that a directory of $280 million towards that would have been way more useful overall to the community. Gentrification, a word no real estate agent or property builder ever wants to hear, and now no member of the Bell Ward Quarry repurposement project either. Making Bell Ward Quarry shine may have had a negative effect on how people live around it. More importantly, who lives around it. One of the key concerns is that the repurposement of Bell Ward Quarry could lead to the gentrification of low-income residents who are unable to afford housing in the area. How is this done? Think about it like this. Since the quarry was significantly repurposed, it could now be a potential attention grabber, so property builders make new property around the park in order to draw in consumers. But the only problem is, the houses around it are dilapidated and ugly to them, so in order to remove them, they use dirty methods such as inflaming rent, all the way to cornering homeowners into selling their own house. The Atlanta Journal mentions this and states that this is a sure possibility considering how much Westside Park shines. Us humans have always built something that appears beautiful, that seems flawless. Flawless in all the wrong ways, considering environmental impact has been a huge issue of the Bellward Quarry repurposement. One major concern of the repurposing is the local wildlife. It was mentioned in the program's finishing details that it took over 1,000 miles of drilling and terraforming in multiple directions in order to siphon the water into the quarry. The Atlanta Journal claims that this has the power to interrupt multiple animals' natural habitats, especially the ones that live underground, like gophers, rabbits, raccoons, and other small rodents. Another crucial concern is the constant cost of keeping this environmentally sustainable. I know the cost section has already been covered, but I feel like this is important to mention. To put something in a place where it did not originate requires maintenance, and maintenance requires money. With all that money being spent that could have been placed towards something more suitable for the community, it kind of puts this entire claim into perspective. In conclusion, the potential negative effects of the repurposing of Bellward Quarry just can't be overlooked. The project's high cost could create financial burdens, while gentrification may displace long-term residents and cause social and economical inequality. Additionally, the environmental impact could harm local ecosystems and wildlife while taking even a more chunk out of the financial burden in order to keep it environmentally sustainable. To ensure the project's success, it is essential to take a comprehensive approach to mitigate these potential negative effects. There are so many good aspects of Westside Park and the Bellward Quarry to look forward to. I personally went there for the first time and was blown away at how gorgeous it was and how pretty the park appeared. With all these facts in place, only one thing is true though. Ultimately, the success of the repurposing of Bellward Quarry will depend on balancing economic development with social and environmental responsibility that puts the benefit of the community first. Considering environmental impact is a major concern of the